So welcome back, everyone, and we all know that it's coming up. We've got the 4th of July weekend coming up, and my next guest has been on with me several times now, and if anybody, either you or someone you know, gets popped for a DUI or something like that, he can help. My next guest is Joe Saienni, and he's a criminal defense attorney. You've got some exciting things that are going on. Welcome back to the show, and let's talk a little bit about how you can help some of these people that might get in trouble, and what you got some exciting news.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you for having us back. We do all facets of criminal law. DUIs are a big money maker in this state for sure. I mean, some states have come to depend on the money, so that's a big area. But we've done everything from homicides to littering. Just took on two kidnapping cases, but we do the whole gamut.
All right, now here's the thing, guys. I always tell people what I think you should do is put these phone numbers in your car, in your phone. Forget in the car, in the phone, so that just in case something happens, you have it right there. And the number is area code 602-953-5550. It is a 24/7 phone number, so God forbid something happens, you've got a phone call right there. He can take you. And also, he does free consultations with everybody.
Yes.
And you also have a great website, because you want to make sure that you educate everyone as well, and that's protectyourrights.lawyer. And he's also giving for everyone who calls in, and I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show for this, not just now, but throughout the rest of the show, his DUI survival guide. I think everybody should have one. It should go into your glove compartment or right by your seat, or hanging on you, if you go out. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You've got 18 years of experience behind you. What exciting is going on in the world of, DUI today?
Well, the last few times I was on the show, we talked about the pending crime lab cases at the state Supreme Court. They have finally made a ruling on those. To summarize, the problem with these police crime labs is that they're not labs. They're simply arms of the police department. They're not independent labs. And basically a police officer or a prosecutor will go to this lab and say, I want to convict this person. Please fabricate me a blood alcohol reading of 0.18, just so we make sure we've got them. The equipment's tainted, the training, they have very little training. They're police officers in lab coat. They've got badge numbers. So me and about 8 other lawyers, we challenged them, and the Supreme Court finally came down with a ruling, and this particular ruling was specific to the Scottsdale lab. The judges are like anybody else. They're wishy-washy. So they came down with issues on both sides, in favor of both sides, but I think more so on the defense. There was some lab results we were wanting to keep out of evidence, and the Supreme Court says, no, we're going to let that into evidence, let that before the jury. Now, they almost had to do that, again, to protect the revenue stream. If they start borrowing all this evidence, Scottsdale would go broke, and the same with Phoenix or any place else. But what the Supreme Court said was, yeah, we're going to let the evidence in, but all of the mistakes, all of the errors, all of the corruption, all of the bad things that are going on in the lab, that gets to come in too.
So how do you do that?
Well, the state is now required to disclose all of the things that they said before weren't relevant. They didn't have to disclose that there was contamination in the run. They didn't have to disclose that the instruments were broken and not repairable. They didn't have to disclose any of that stuff. The Supreme Court has says yes. Basically the police and the prosecution can still go to the lab and say, fabricate or make up whatever evidence we need in order to convict this person, but now we get to know that, and we get to go before a jury and tell a jury, this is all crap. There was an article in the paper just the other day about a biohazard lab at ASU being shut down by its overseers, the CDC, and it was shut down for less violations and less mistakes, way less mistakes, than these crime labs.
I would think that it's a crime to fabricate a case. So it would think to me that the person that should be getting in quote-unquote trouble would be the person that said, I want to get this guy, fabricate this. That's who is, I think, the one that should get, I don't know, Help me out here.
No, you're exactly right. The problem is the system protects itself. The judges, the prosecutors, the police officers are a club, and they protect themselves. It has to get to an extreme level before a police officer or a prosecutor is held accountable. And we've got that now. We've got Andrew Thomas, who's recently been disbarred in the last few years. We've got Sheriff Arpaio, who's about to not be with us anymore. We have the detective in the Milky case that the court just ruled made up a bunch of evidence, and that case has gone away, and that lady is now free. So it should happen, and in cases it does happen, but it has to get to such an extreme level. The average cop with the average defendant, the average judge that's not hitting the nighttime news is probably going to get away with it.
Before we came on the air, we were talking a little bit about some of the poor people that things like this happen to, and I don't mean poor and money-wise. I mean, it's sad that some people who are bad things happen to good people. And we were talking about an 80-year-old who had just gone to lunch and had a little cocktail or whatever, maybe she just had a little glass of wine, and got popped. And the next thing you know, money, big-time money that they have to pay and what have you, and certainly the stress of all of that as well. And here it could have been that's just maybe somebody went in there and said, listen, I want to get this lady, I've always hated her, whatever it is. And she has to pay for that.
She does. And the problem is the money supports judges, prosecutors, cops, jail officers, detention officers, court staff. It's a huge revenue stream that's got to be protected in their view. And so that's why, we put out newsletters and talk a lot about the fact that the average person will say, well, I know the solution to the problem is simply don't drink and drive. That's not protection anymore. We have defended so many cases that are way below a .08 level, some below the .05 level, and then you and I were talking about a couple 0-0. They were at 0-0. And they took the field sobriety test, which we advise not to take. It's in our DUI kit. Don't take the field sobriety test. Don't answer questions. But a lot of people think they're going to out-trick the police and outperform them, which you're not, because you don't even know what they're looking for. So she did it, and they decided, okay, we're going to arrest her for DUI, and we're going to shake her down, and they're hoping that these people just turn around and bend over and pay the fines and plead guilty and do their jail time, and now they all get money. The ignition interlock providers get money. The alcohol counselors get money. And she had a 0-0-0 BAC. And the state would not dismiss it until we forced it to trial, with the idea of, okay, let's take this to trial and see how 6 jurors feel about you wasting their time with a 0-0 BAC. And they dismissed it right before trial, but that lady had to go through a year of stress to get to that point.
And that had to have been very hard on her, especially, it's costly. I mean, no matter what. I mean, we did talk a little bit about the difference. You said that you do many kinds of the criminal, but you also can do if somebody's gotten into a car accident and things like that. Those are done differently. That case is taken differently, isn't it correct?
If you're talking about as far as financially, yes.
Right,
yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So when somebody does have something like this happen to you, there is money involved, and you don't want to have to go through that. Yes, we are telling you that we want you to be safe. We don't want, if you can help it, don't drink and drive. Get a cab. But at the same time, anything can happen. What you think. And how many people go out for a restaurant and just have one glass of wine and they think that's okay, but it's a zero tolerance here.
Well, it's not zero tolerance. It can be. They can prosecute you for impaired to the slightest degree at any level, but it doesn't become per se until it's an 08. But you should be able to go out and have a glass of wine. A lot of police officers and prosecutors, they've not studied enough history to know that a while ago we repealed the 18th Amendment. Drinking is legal in this country. They don't realize that.
Yeah. You know what, guys? We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about some of these things. And again, it is the holiday weekend coming up. It's a big one. Be careful, but put the phone number in your phone. It is 602-953-5550. His website is protectyourrights.lawyer. Call in here. You're going to get yourself his DUI survival guide, and everyone should have one. 602-277-5369. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with attorney Joe Saienni, and again, for anybody who doesn't know, it's the 4th of July weekend coming up, and a lot of people can get themselves in a little snafu-y, and he can help. And that's the nice thing, is that he's on here for you guys to hear what he does. He also offers everybody free consultations. You've got videotapes, all sorts of things on your website for people to look at. And that is protectyourrights.lawyer. Of course, not just DUI, anything that's regarding any kind of criminal type of a case. And he also is offering for everyone to call in and get the DUI Survival Guide, and that is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show to be able to get that, and put his phone number in your phone right now. It is 602-953-5550, and that is 24/7. He's been doing this for 18 years, and he can help anyone from anywhere. As a matter of fact, he said he flies in. He likes to fly in and help anyone from anywhere.
Well, I was going to, you mentioned something that's unique about the 4th of July weekend and any of these summer holidays. You know, we had a few shows with you over the Christmas holidays, and that's a different type of holiday. We get into these summer holidays, and there's all of these river and lake sports going on at Lake Pleasant and even Lake Havasu. And we do cases in Lake Havasu. We do cases in Bullhead City. And what you have unique to the summer holidays are all of the stops, the patrols coming back from the lakes, or looking for minors in consumption, looking for DUIs coming back from Bartlett Lake or Lake Pleasant. And there will be a lot of those. And there is no more worse laboratory testing than DPS and the Sheriff's Department. Those things, you can barely even call them laboratories. So especially at this time of year, be careful coming back from these aquatic recreational areas, because they're going to be flooded with law enforcement, and they're going to be charging people right and left, and quite frankly not knowing what they're doing.
Well, let me tell you also, guys, don't just wait till you're coming back. I'm just going to mention this. What about when they're driving those boats and they're drinking?
Oh, yes. Boating under the influence. Very serious.
Boating under the influence.
And they'll have deputies out on the water that'll float up, you know, they'll pull up and inspect your boat, because they can inspect your boat just, you know, under the rule of law.
Wow, that's amazing. So we have been talking a little bit also about the Arizona Supreme Court and how they ruled the case and this and that. You said also that this country has, on the planet, has the top amount of DUI laws, or any kind of criminal laws, than any other country in the world, practically.
More than a lot of groups of countries. We've got constitutions. Every state's got their own constitution. Statutes, case law, rules, regulations, ordinances. We have more restrictions than groups of countries, than you could put several European countries together who have been around several thousand years. We've been around a little over 200, and we're the most regulated, legislated people on the planet. And it's because we have turned our criminal justice system into a for-profit venture. Government depends on it.
So, okay, then how big of a business then is this criminal justice system?
It's billions and billions of dollars, which is why we have so many laws. By comparison, other nations, we were talking about this at the break, other nations have way less laws. In some cases, a first or second offense DUI is a civil offense. It's not even a criminal offense. They have less prison, less arrests, less jail costs, less police officers, less courts, and are way more successful at the whole law enforcement criminal justice function than we have ever been.
Now, what's going on with police wearing body cameras? What do you feel about that?
Well, it's interesting, because the politicians were trying to make that possible for them. They were trying to get the funding and have them wear these body cameras, and the police didn't want it. Scottsdale did it for a while, and then they gave it up. And the reason being is, let's go back to DUIs, a field sobriety test. You're walking the line, you're touching your nose, you're doing all these silly roadside gymnastics. Well, the police is writing down that you're failing everything. That's why you don't do it, because you have no control over what he's going to write down, and he's going to write down that you failed. So just don't do it. But if it's on tape, either if the police are having to record it, then a jury can see he didn't fail, he did fine. And the law enforcement community does not want that. But what we've now been advising people to do, in addition to don't take the field sobriety test, don't answer questions, don't do the handheld breath test at the scene. Now later, if they want to take blood or do a large breath machine called an intoxilizer, that's different. Most people should do that, but call a lawyer and ask. But the little handheld one at the scene, don't do that. Don't do all these things that we say not to do. One thing to do that's a product of this 21st century technology is record the stop if you can. Get out your iPhone, or if you've got a passenger, have them get out their iPhone and record everything, either audio or preferably audio and video.
A policeman cannot say, stop that?
No, they can't. Now, they might try. They might say, you're interfering with my safety, or you're interfering with my investigation, which is just horse crap. But they might say that, but then that's another thing we use against them. You know, we go to court and we say, why did you stop the videotape? What are you trying to hide?
Mm-hmm. So there you go. And what you need is a good lawyer. Is that you've been doing this for 18 years. And why, let's go into this now, because I want to go into some of these important things too. Why is it important to get an attorney as opposed to, so many people think that they can do it, or they think that they're just, like you said, they'll pay the fines, just deal with it, blah, 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 blah. But it can hurt them tremendously.
Well, a DUI carries fines, jail costs, jail time, a year ignition interlock device on your car, any car that you drive. If you drive 3, you've got to get 3. Mandatory counseling. It can carry probation. I think that in criminal law, if you're charged with anything that's going to result in jail time, which includes DUI, they're not going to let you go forward without an attorney. So you've got the choice of either hiring a good private attorney, or they're going to appoint you a public defender who's just going to walk you through a plea. So you're going to have an attorney. The question is, do you want a good one, or do you want a government attorney?
Or do you want somebody that can find those loopholes? Because it is about loopholes. What is life after, getting arrested for, let's say, a DUI?
Well, it's a lot
or something criminal that might even be related to a 4th of July weekend.
It's 6 months to a year of stress and sleepless nights and anxiety, wondering what's going to happen. Am I going to go to jail for several months? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to lose my if you're a professional, it's a whole different can of worms. If you're a doctor or a nurse or a contractor or any of these things, and you stand serious consequences from the regulatory board that oversees you.
So we have this DUI survival guide that he wants to give to everybody, and I believe that everyone, if you don't have one in your car, you should be definitely giving them to your son or daughter, because if they're driving around, they're out having a good time, and something happens, this is the guide that will have all the information of step-by-step sort of what to do. And our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll-free it's 1-866-536-1100. Let's face it, I said this before you came on, I don't care about some of these things but here, but the people that listen to this show, they're older, right? And their kids are the ones, in general, not saying that it couldn't happen to anyone out there, because it does. We've been talking about the 80-year-olds and all that stuff, but it's the parents that have to pay for it. The kids don't have the money for this kind of thing. So why do you want that to happen? No.
Well, and it's just as simple. Let's take the kids that are going to be partying at Lake Havasu or on the Colorado River, and the Bullhead Police, the Mohave County Sheriff's Department. All they're going to be doing is asking these kids to blow in a portable breath test device. They're trying to see if we've got minors in consumption of alcohol. If these kids know that they don't have to do that, they can refuse that, they're going to beat the minor in consumption.
They've got probably buses out there waiting for these kids or these people to be, at Tempe Town Lakes. There's a lot of places that are going to have a lot of things, and they're out there looking for you because they want to make money on it. Now, again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We want you to have that DUI survival guide. We also want you to call and put his phone number in your phone right now at 602-953-5550, and that's a 24/7. It's Protect Your Rights .lawyer. It's .lawyer, guys. What's your final words for today?
Be safe, be smart, get our survival guide. The DUI stops begins, you defending yourself begins before you even roll down the window.
Hey guys, it is the 4th of July weekend. We've got a few days, and I know we're all starting to get gear up for it. And be safe out there. you know, don't drink and drive, but you know, we all sort of sometimes have done that. One drink, we can have one drink and it can happen. He can help you. Again, let's put that phone number in your phone. It is 602-953-5550. Call us here. You're going to get that survival guide at 602-277-5369. Be careful, guys.